At the new school, we believe that high school students should be doing work that is meaningful and relevant, both to themselves and to the world. That high school should be a place where young people become inspired, where they discover and explore their passions, and that a great high school needs to use the community as its classroom, encouraging its students to do real work in the real world.
Atlanta's diverse, Atlanta's vibrant, Atlanta is changing so rapidly. But it's interesting, a lot of the school growth is happening outside of the perimeter in Atlanta and not within sort of the heartbeat of where this vibrancy in Atlanta is happening. And so to see a school that's investing in the city of Atlanta, where this growth, where this change is occurring is a lab. It's a learning lab for students and a school to not only bring that to the student environment, but also be a gift to the Atlanta community in many ways, because that's a lot of what the school stands for.
The new school's mission is to help kids figure out who they are in a full and authentic way. So they need to figure out who they are intellectually, they need to figure out who they are socially, and they need to figure out what gets them up in the morning. But more importantly to me are two factors. They're going to know who they are. And part of that happens because of the nature of the community that's formed here. It's small, everybody gets to know each other incredibly well. They have adults who care for them deeply and whom they get to see in a lot of different contexts. And secondly, and this is truly unique, I think, by exposing kids to experiences of the world and putting them in the world, they get to really test out different opportunities, different challenges, different questions.
I was really looking for a high school that would allow my son to be himself, but in an environment where he would learn. The idea of project-based learning was something that was very, very important because I wanted to have transferable skills that would take him on to college.
I think the new school will prepare kids for college in a lot of ways. Academically, they're going to have an incredibly solid foundation because they're working with demanding teachers who understand the intellectual skills and the academic skills that they're going to need in college.
I think I'm leaning towards entrepreneurship a lot more because of the new school now.
I think these projects happen to be relevant because I think just the whole idea of what we're doing is different. So when you give us a project, we're doing a lot of things you wouldn't be doing in a structured environment. Whether it's research, gathering data, different things. We're just putting skills that we've learned and are learning and putting them to use. And I think that it has to do with the real world because, you're doing these things, you're going out in the real world, you're meeting new people. And when you build these connections with people, it helps. So if you ever are interested in something, you might be able to reach out to these people. And I think that when you're experimenting and doing these new projects, you might find something you love, you might even find that ideal career path you want to do, and I think that happens to make everything relevant.
In addition to super solid academic work, they are out in the world looking at social issues like homelessness or environmental issues like water quality in the city. They are looking at the arts for the city at large. They're going both deep in terms of a specific issue, trying to figure out why does this issue exist in the city? And then they get to ask the next important question, which is, what can we do about it? So it's not just a deep understanding, but it's a bias towards action.
I've been blown away, quite honestly. The things and the activities that are brought into the subjects, I think are what keeps the kids' interest level up. I mean, they feel like they're participating in something, and it all comes together in a fashion that the kids leave not just having learned some facts, but knowing how to do something, and they enjoyed the process.
Real learning happens when students are motivated themselves to learn. And so I think a teacher's primary job is to find ways to motivate each one of their students.
I think that the students here feel like they actually matter, like that they're already an integral part of something, and they don't have to wait until they're this official adult to be valuable and or to have the ability to contribute.
I think that being treated as an adult, for one, makes you sort of step up your game a little bit and behave more maturely. Honestly, I feel like that the real world now to me is less scary, and I think that the new school's definitely been a big part of that because instead of just sitting in a classroom all day, we're actually going out and being in it, and this is where you're going to be, and I think that it's definitely made it a lot less of a scary, terrifying thing that we're going to have to deal with after high school.
it's really a fraction of the faculty that kids are exposed to. If you think about all the adults they come in contact with, they're going to work with more than 50 really accomplished adults over any given school year.
I don't think of it as school really. I think of it as more of just it's my place to learn, but it's not structured. You're more free. I can be myself, and I think that's a great feeling to have every day at school.